Market shifts have stages. I believe we're coming out of the first stage and going into the second one. I'm going to explain what that means coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Like I said in the intro, I believe that when there's a market shift, it kind of happens in stages and things will change and the buyer and seller psyche change in those shifts. And so if I was to define the first shift, once when interest rates went up and the recession was official, buyers just turned off. And we saw that in the market data across the board this past month, where we're looking at a 50% drop in the number of properties that are selling in the Kona district. We're looking at a 30% drop overall on the Big Island in the number of homes and pieces of property that are selling. And so buyers just pulled back big time, right? Sellers were just still in the market that they were in the previous 6 months. And then when all of this happened in the economy, the buyers just said, okay, I'm going to stop, because there was a lot of scary stuff in the news and a lot of bad news. And so they just kind of sat on their hands, took a quick pause to kind of evaluate what was going on. And what we're seeing now is, in that first kind of 2 months of the shift since back in June, a big drop in the number of homes that we're selling. But now what we're seeing, and I believe this is going to be the next 2 to 3 months, is the stage 2 of the market shift, where what's happening is buyers are coming back into the market. Interest rates have kind of stabilized, they're back into kind of the mid-5 ranges, and buyers are kind of starting to understand, like, hey, it's not that bad, and if I need to buy a house, I want to still be in the market. But what the buyer mentality we're seeing is now they're back into the mentality of, okay, the market is shifted. I see a home that may be a little bit overpriced, but I'm just going to make an offer at what I believe it's worth, because it's been sitting on the market for a month or two and obviously hasn't sold for the price that the seller is asking. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of offers come in under list price, sometimes significantly under list price, because depending on where that buyer, that seller started, right, the property could be significantly overpriced. And sellers are, I think, a little bit in denial as to what's going on, where you're not going to get maybe 10% more than your neighbor got just a few months ago. And it's going to take some time for sellers to kind of come back around and say, okay, the market is softened, things are a little bit different, buyers are more cautious, and I'm going to have to more aggressively price my property. It's not that values have dropped, it's really you just got to aggressively price your property for where it's actually worth, as opposed to banking on multiple buyers bidding it up and paying over what the property is actually worth. And so it's something to kind of consider if you're in the market to either sell or buy. That psyche has shifted a little bit and buyers are back. We're seeing a lot of offers being made on properties, especially on properties that have been on the market 30, 60, 90 days, which we're seeing a lot more of. There's a lot more inventory out there, but buyers are coming in where they think the property is worth. And my advice to buyers is definitely continue to do that. You can't get a property unless you are in the game making offers. And my advice to sellers is take those offers seriously, right? The market speaks. It's not about what you want to get for your house or what you think your house is worth. The true value of your home is what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And if you're getting feedback from buyer's agents saying, hey, this is what I think the price should be, or you're getting offers significantly under list price, don't be offended by that. It's just a buyer signaling that this is what I think the house is worth and this is what I'm willing to pay for it. And at the end of the day, that is the true definition of market value. So it's something to think about. That's the shift that we're going into, kind of stage 2 of the shift. We'll see what stage 3 ends up being. Maybe things will stabilize. We'll see prices come down a little bit. Buyers then getting back to paying closer to full price. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's definitely something we're seeing. I see tons and tons of deals and offers come across my desk, and I've been watching this, and it's definitely something that's out there where we're seeing a lot of offers being made. Not a lot of deals coming together because there's still a pretty big gap between what sellers want to get for their house and what a buyer is willing to pay. And at some point that gap is going to have to get closed, and so we can get more deals under contract. But something to think about. If you think I'm wrong, put them in the comments below. If you want to have a discussion, Dylan@buybigisland.com. If you want to book a meeting to talk about your plans or get some advice on what you should do, you can book a meeting at the link below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to get all the updates. We put one of these out every single week. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next week. Aloha.